Back here, Bart Scott, we're talking Antonio Brown, we're talking Helmetgate. Over the weekend, AB said he'd retire if he couldn't wear his old helmet. Even filed a grievance with the NFL. Well, yesterday that grievance was denied. So did he retire, Bart? Did he? He did not. He walked that threat back, fully retracting his ultimatum. He even tweeted, "While I disagree with the arbitrator's decision, I'm working on getting back to full health, and I'm looking forward to rejoining my teammates on the field. I'm excited about this season. Appreciate all the concerns about my feet." Bart, have the AB headaches just begun for the Oakland Raiders?
I think he's a bit of a diva, but listen, we're there to cover everything that he says right now. He's the most interesting thing about the about the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, they're the most interesting. He's the most interesting thing about the Oakland Raiders. And I don't have any issues with him trying to figure out, hey, with my helmet. I understand that. I've been through that before, the old chin strap rule where you had to put 2 chin straps on. And, my helmet actually later in my career was, if I would have played another year, it was outlawed. I think that they maybe should. The better that these helmets get and the heavier they get, the more confidence that players get, and I think they lead with their helmet because they trust the equipment so well. I feel like if their helmets were worse, guys would take their head out of the tackles. But I understand he's had tremendous success, and there's going to be adjustment. He's got to figure out, the right balance, how he likes to look through it, how he likes to put it on his chin and things of that sort. But, I mean, that's just AB being AB, and it comes with the territory. I played with players that was a bit of divas and attention seekers. The question for me is, can he produce? And what I'm more concerned with is his feet, not his helmet and his equipment that he's playing with right now.
Right now, you said he's a bit of a diva. I would say that's a bit of an understatement. I think Antonio Brown has exhibited over the last 18 to 24 months the top end of the spectrum of erratic. Diva, I think, is a kind way to put it. Diva is not inherently a bad thing. What Antonio Brown has done repeatedly is damaging to his team, I would argue to his own personal success, to his career, and he's paid very little, if any, penalties for it. Chris made the point earlier, Antonio's focus was on getting paid. He forced his way out of Pittsburgh, and he got paid because of it. He got $30 million of guaranteed money that the Steelers were not going to give him, that he got by forcing his way out of Pittsburgh. How did he do that? Well, let the relationship sour with the quarterback. Some of that obviously was also on the quarterback, but then he no-showed, no-called on a must-win game when they were still alive for the playoffs. And then since then, in a 10-day stretch, he showed up for work in a hot air balloon, then couldn't work because his feet were frostbitten, and then threatened to quit work because he couldn't wear the uniform he wanted to wear, for lack of a better term. That's crazy. It's just crazy behavior. And so rich, successful people, famous in particular, at that age don't all of a sudden reverse course. He's not all of a sudden going to become Larry Fitzgerald. No, of course not. And if anything, he's even more emboldened, even though the NFL finally told him no on this, or they were finally someone that told him no. His coach put his arms around him. The Raiders fans are putting their arms around him. They just want him to produce. To Bart's point, why would he change his behavior when his behavior is worked out by his mind the exact way he wanted to? Didn't want to be in Pittsburgh anymore? He's not anymore. He had the owner meet with him on his terms. The owner flew to him to meet with him. Appreciate it, Mr. Rooney. Nope, I don't want to be here anymore. So, no, I think AB is a great player, and I think he's the most talented player on the Raiders, but I don't think that he is going to change who he is or who he has become. I think we'd be crazy to think he is going to.
I'm just here to explain Bart's answer. And there's a reason why Bart gave you the answer that he did. Because 70% of the players in the locker room, they don't care, just like Bart. I don't care, man. I'm here for the work. I'm here to get paid. I'm making more money than I could ever dream of. You're going to need to play ball because I'm going to be here. I'm not involved in that, but I don't care. Another reason is because he's had teammates like that. In every NFL locker rooms, there's a certain amount of expectations, entitlement, diva-ness, and it's not always at the wide receiver. So Bart has seen this. But Bart also, the reason why it's accepting is the reason why Mike Tomlin accepted it. As long as you're one of the best at your position, we're willing to accept that behavior because we know it's an NFL locker room. So that's where Bart is coming from. To me, when you're transitioning from one team to the next, I would expect the opposite. Juju Schuster flamed him on the way out of town. So what type of mentor is he going to be to the younger guys? He's not. He's not. It's all about AB. It's all about his brand. It's all about Instagram. It's all about likes. It's not about being one of the best receivers that's ever played the game. It's not about putting together a 6-year window that's like one other receiver in NFL history, and that's Jerry Rice. No, AB has switched. So for me, you won't hear me on TV bragging about he's the hardest worker in the building, because that was my excuse for him before. Now it should be about other things. And with the Raiders, their logo has been just win, baby. To him, it's not about winning anymore. It's all about himself and his own personal brand, and it will hurt the Raiders. And this is just the beginning, Bart.
It also feels like, Bart, though, it's the perfect recipe to butt heads with a guy like John Gruden, who seemingly doesn't have an ounce of patience for this type of thing.
I think that's
they're the same person. You know, they're both alpha males. They're both high maintenance. You can make the same argument about John Gruden. That's why I think
I don't know what you consider your definition of an alpha male, and I don't know what John Gruden has done that would warrant whatever your definition is.
I mean, for me,
because for me, it's a bunch of BS.
Well, for me, it's a guy that, you know, understands when they have leverage, you know, and I think that John Gruden understands he has leverage, getting Reggie McKenzie out there, making sure that he has nobody there more powerful than him. And you look on the player side, Antonio Brown, there's no player more powerful than him because of the contract, because of the financial security that they have. But I think when you look at Antonio Brown, I'm not concerned with how big of a diva he is, because through his own selfishness, the entire team can continue to thrive. You hear about the environment in which when he's out on the football field, he makes everybody better because he comes and he brings it every day. Some of the same things you can say about Odell Beckham. He's a guy that's performed at a high level. Double team, triple team, it don't matter. He's going to show up. You know, I can't really hold this against him as far as his feet and not being available right now, because, you know, we've all, you know, tried to do different things and try and improve ourselves and go through technology. The fact that he didn't have the proper, you know, protection for his footwear isn't his fault. He was trying to do something to make himself recover to be a better football player. But what he's got to do, he's got to take some of those young guys underneath his wing. He's got to start to develop the guys around him.
That's the concern, right? Is that I would imagine if you are on the cusp of being a Super Bowl champion, if you're on the cusp of being a great team, and you have a really strong locker room with really strong veterans, with an established coach, quarterback, you bring in AB, and it's like, listen, we know we brought in a guy who's a little erratic. He's going to be awesome on Sundays. We're going to deal with the other stuff, and we're not asking him to mentor guys. They are in the opposite position. They are trying to position themselves, not even for this season that hasn't even started yet, for next season. They're trying to figure out if Carr is going to be their quarterback once they get to Vegas. They're trying to figure out which of these young players. They got a bunch of first-round picks coming through the door this year and next year because they traded away those players to get first-round picks. Part of Antonio Brown's job, in theory, would be to show the young receivers how you conduct yourself as a professional, because that's how you're going to help the Raiders long-term more so than this year.
They made interesting choices trying to do this between incognito and bringing in Perfect as model citizens in that locker room.
But I don't care, like, who you are as a person, right? When you're trying to show me how to be a professional, I want to see how you look at film. I want to see how you break down defensive backs. I don't care how the method you do it in. I want to watch you work, because a lot of guys talk good.
But during the film session, he's checking the Chase app, seeing how rich he is, and he's on Instagram.
Listen, you don't get that. You don't get that good unless you put in the work on the field and in the classroom.
Let me tell you something, man. I played that position. It's the most selfish position in all of sports. And you can be selfish, you can be a diva, and still be great. We have examples of them, one after one, decade after decade. So I don't believe you in that. And making the excuse that, you know something, just because he's a hard worker. Man, you're in a team sport. He tweeted, you know, me and my team, I'm getting back with my teammates. It's about the team. But this has been about him. In Pittsburgh, at the end, it became about him. Facebook Live, that was about him. The stuff with Ben Roethlisberger, it was the stuff about him. We need to stop making excuses. He's not a 24-year-old, you know something? Oh, it's his second or third year. No, dude is grown. Dude is in the league, and he's being irresponsible with his stardom. And for me to sit here and act like I'm going to tolerate it, no, Bart. And you know, in the locker room, it's disruptive. You create a culture with the guys you pay. You don't bring in no Vontaze Burfict talking about you trying to be a mentor. You don't bring in no Richie Incognito talking about you getting ready to mentor someone.
But
you don't,
Bart. But you know they not all choir boys. They're not all choir boys. I don't need
It's
choir
about
boys. I
winning.
need some guys with some skin in the game, some felonies. I need some bad guys, right?
But do
I
you
can
need
win
the
with them.
top 3 draft picks for
Bart,
crazy?
no, stop
in
this.
the league.
That used to win in the league. It's not winning anymore, Bart. All right? Look what the winning model is. It's not guys getting arrested off the field. So, yeah, that used to work. There used to be a day. You used to be able to have guys like that. But it doesn't work anymore. You're not winning.
Philly
the careers
won with
are not
LeGarrette Blunt, right? They won with LeGarrette Blunt.
But
Like, you can win with guys that you
can
may
win
not
when
want
you
to
go to
eat
New
dinner with.
England. That's the only team transforming people because the dudes don't act crazy. You know something? They act straight as soon as they walk through the door because they ain't having it because they know Belichick is not putting up with it in the locker room. They not putting up with it. Ain't no Instagram live in the dang on Patriots locker room.
Yeah, but for me, that whole hiccup was about him trying to brand and market himself, and he made a bad decision.
Come on, man. You're making money. You're making almost $20 million.
Yeah.
You branding enough. Stop, Bart.
Oh,
like,
man.
stop. Go, Jenna.
We all
stop.
try to make that off
Just
the field
stop,
money.
man.
We're
We all
gonna
try to
take
get that
a
off the
break.
field
Stop.
money.
You're making excuses, man.
Bart, we'll see you a little bit later coming up.
It's ridiculous.
Talk
Come on
some
back
Cam
to this
Newton
segment. I
and
need
the
to start
Panthers.
stuff CT.
Next up,
Pointing all
first
his
things
hands and
first.
gyrations all over the place, making me nervous.
I know you and Ray Lewis wouldn't have put up with that. I know.